Hi, folks. This is Mr. Doctor. Just wanted to give you some specific feedback on the content application FRQ from Unit 6. Concerning the AP exam, the College Board has communicated that it will be completed remotely from the comfort of your own home. It will focus on the first 3 units of instruction. That is the sequence published by the College Board, not the sequence we used in Edina. Any published study guide will follow the College Board sequence. Finally, there will not be a multiple choice section. The exam will consist only of FRQs. Given that, let's hone in and understand where we can easily earn points. Content application is often a 3-point question. Last year, Edina's average on the content application question was a 2.3. The global average was a 1.8. As a result, your teachers feel confident and good about your preparation for this type of FRQ. Note, this is a classic question in that it asks you to identify a power of Congress, an executive check on that power, and make a connection to an institution, behavior, or process beyond the current unit. Looking specifically at Part A here. Okay, when you read describe, immediately think, I need to identify and define. Keep it simple. Describe a power of Congress. Always start with what is the essential power of that institution. Congress makes laws for the nation. The next thing you have to remember is to use the context provided. When you read, to address the comments outlined in the scenario, your response needs to address Mylan's increase of the costs of EpiPens. I should read those words in your response. Mylan, EpiPens, increase in costs. Okay. There's the specific feedback. I don't think I need to get more specific in that. Okay. Part B. In B, you're asked to explain in context. First, explain means you will have to identify a presidential power, define or describe that power, and explain how its use could impact the power you identified in A. Okay, for most of you, that was Congress's power to make laws. Secondly, all of this should be done in the context of Mylan's increase in the costs of EpiPens. Don't assume that the reader knows what it means to veto a bill, if that is the power that you identified. Okay? Always define and describe the power or the term you identified. Okay? Again, the feedback here is pretty straightforward, right there. In C, okay, the third point here, you are again asked to explain in context. First, it is important to recognize that the interaction mentioned is the bill to law process. That will inform your identification. Secondly, it was important to define linkage institution. There's the definition for you. Thirdly, explain here means you needed to identify a linkage institution. This could be political parties, interest groups, the media, or elections. You would need to define or describe your linkage institution. Fourthly, you would need to explain your linkage institution's impact on the bill to law process. Whenever, a good thing to do is if you have a struggling with the describe part of the explained, think of an example, even if it's hypothetical. Throw in an example after you've attempted the describe, because it'll clarify your thinking for the reader. Finally, all of this should be done in the context of the increase in the price of EpiPens. Never forget the context of the scenario. Again, there's the feedback, more specific feedback on why students did earn points and why students lost points. Again, we feel very strongly and confident about your ability to score highly on the content application. I will do a separate screencast for the quantitative analysis. All right, we'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.